Chautauqua starting to level up. Here we go. Boom.
My feet go boom, 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 boom.
Here he comes. Chautauqua. Boom, right over the top. Chautauqua takes out the TJ. Back-to-back wins.
Zoom, 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 zoom. My
Can
feet
he
go
do it? Chautauqua, he's flying.
away from
Yes, there's history. Chautauqua makes it 3 in a row. That is unbelievable. Told me that's not one of the greatest moments here at Randwick.
Talk about boom time. That is sensational. You'll never see a bigger moment outside Winks than that.
I say, hey, you can't stop me if you...
What a horse, what a sprinting horse. Chautauqua, the Grey Flash, trained by Team Hawks and ridden in all 3 TJ Smiths by Tommy Berry, who joins us on the phone to talk about his rides today on day 1 of the championships. Hello to you, Tommy. How many times have you watched replays of Chautauqua?
I don't think I've got to watch them that much. People post about them that often during the year, whether it's TJ Smith time or just when they're talking about the top 5 best sprinters they've ever seen or anything like that. But I think I've watched it about 30 times this week. It's one replay that you scroll by on Twitter and you can't help but press on it and watch it again.
Look, you've been on some great horses the last few years. You've had success in Hong Kong. Just how much meaning did those 3 wins in the TJ aboard that horse have for you?
Oh, I had a lot because I had a great association with him overall. I think I won 5 Group 1s on him, and he took me to Hong Kong, and for the international day there, it was like winning a gold medal for me. And look, you can ride good horses, but you'll ride them and then you'll get off them and you'll get onto something else. But he's a horse I had an association with for quite a number of years, and he was a quirky customer, as we saw in the end with him. But that's what made him as good as he was.
What was that like near the end, trying to encourage him and cajole him out of the stalls and all the things that he wanted to do and what everyone else wanted him to do, which seemed opposing?
Yeah, look, it was obviously a frustrating time for us all because we knew how well he was going at home. You saw in one of his trials at Rosehill, I think he missed it by a good 15, 20 metres, and he stormed over the top of some Group 1 horses. So it showed how well he was going, and if he wasn't going well, then he would have been in the paddock a lot earlier. But that was a frustrating part for us. But look, as I said, that's his demeanour, and that's what made him as good as he was for so many years, and it just worked against us in the end. But I've seen him a couple of times since he's retired, and he's looking pretty sharp. He's a happy boy.
So the Autumn Carnival moves on from Rosehill to Randwick today for day 1 of the championships, and you've got an association with a high-class New Zealand-trained galloper, Madison County, who will take his place in the Herald's Australian Derby. You've sat on him twice so far for a 4th behind the Autumn Sun, and then he tried really hard in the Tulloch behind Angel of Truth. What impression has he given you?
Yeah, he's given me the impression of a top-class mile at a sort of 2,000 metre horse, recent times. But look, to me, off his last one, he feels to me that he'll stay 2,400, especially now to come up a soft 7. That makes our task a little bit easier. But I've really come to like this bloke, and I think it's because of his attitude. I've ridden him a lot in track work, and he's got that will to win attitude where he pins his ears back and he wants to get the job done. And I worked with Alicia on, I think it was Vinda Dance on Thursday morning, and when he breezed past it, he sort of put the shoulder into him on the way past. He's just got that nice attitude where he wants to get the job done. So look, these 2 runs over here have been very impressive. He was obviously great behind the Autumn Sun after a lot of setbacks leading into it. And he ran off some pretty good sectionals there, and I think going back to Randwick is going to suit him a lot better on that bigger track. And last start, I think it was between a pilot error, a fair ride, and the track playing the way it was on the day, which got him beat. But he should have won there, and I think he's gone on from that after riding on Thursday morning. He's a very fit horse. He's very well. I don't think the team could have him in any better order.
So you're pretty confident that he's as good as he's been since you've sat on him in Australia?
Oh, far and away, yeah. He's as good as he's been for sure. He's always sort of had a bit of a blow here and there after strong gallops, but on Thursday morning he had a nice piece of work and just recovered so well. And I spoke to Alicia yesterday, and she said he's just bouncing out of his skin. So, look, like many people have said during the week, when you see Baker and Forceman next to a horse going into a derby, you can just never count him out. And he's one that I think if he stays the trip, he's going to be awfully hard to beat.
How are you seeing the race tactically, horses to beat and where you'd like to be in the running ideally?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty open race. I think we'll probably end up about midfield, and I think Shapanda's probably the one to beat. He's been very strong at the end of his races. He's been a little bit unlucky as well. He ran well in the Derby in Melbourne, and he's on an awkward barrier as well. So he's going to have to probably get a bit further back out of his ground than he wanted to. But he's a horse that looks like staying the trips not an issue for him. But look, there's always speed in derbies. It doesn't matter if there doesn't look like there is on paper. There's always 3 or 4 that are going to be caught out wide that are going to press forward and put a bit of pressure into the race. So we drew a little bit further out than I wanted to in 11, but look, there's plenty of other horses outside of me, and I'm sure I can get midfield even a touch worse. I just want to ride him to relax and switch off for the first half of the race and worry about from the 600 onwards where we're going to go and how we're going to get to clear running, because I think he's got the best turn of foot in the race, as I said before, and if I can just save him to the last furlong, I think if I'm close enough, he can win.
I have to bring up a niggly memory, Tommy, because a couple of weeks ago you were involved in one of the closer finishes in recent memory in a Group 1 race, the Galaxy, and you're on the wrong side of it with Pirata just going down to Nature's Strip. That aside, that small margin aside, how happy were you with Pirata's run with a view to the TJ today?
Yeah, well, it was like a win for me. We didn't get back that far. It hurt down in differences. It wasn't anything, but he's going sick at this bloke. His first up run was great. We rode him cold. It was off a slow tempo, and it made it hard for us to come from behind on that occasion. And he was quite underdone on that occasion as well. So he stripped a lot fitter going into the Galaxy, and that showed. And look, I don't think Rosehill sits in that well because it's a turning track from the sort of half a mile. And I was under a lot of pressure from the 60 to 400, getting through that ordinary ground, and I felt like I was going to run midfield, to be honest. And once I got him out to better ground in Australia, he really stormed home late. So he's got an unbeaten record at Randwick over the 1200. I think it sits in the big, nice, long straight, and he's obviously going to be able to get his toe into the ground, which will suit him quite well as well. So he's drawn well. Wouldn't like to be too far away from the speed, so hopefully we can be 3 pairs, 4 pairs at worst. And look, he's in the best form of his career, and if he can't win today, then he's just not good enough.
You've got to get your thoughts on the draw and the fact that you're considering riding him a bit closer, given that he's drawn barrier 2. The Doncaster Mile is traditionally very competitive, open Group 1 mile handicap, of course. And you've picked up the ride on Kluger, a Japanese-trained horse. What can you tell us about the feel that Kluger's given you since he's been in Australia?
He gave me a great feel last, I think it was this Tuesday morning that just passed. He put on a really good piece of work on the course proper there at Canterbury. I was a little bit worried leading into that because he'd looked really one pace to me in his work, watching it on videos and that. But when I jumped on him the other morning, as I said, he was very sharp. He's got nice form from overseas. His last couple of runs over there were on dirt tracks just because he doesn't like firm tracks, so you sort of discount those. But he's a Group 2 winner. He's finished 1.7 lengths away from some of the better horses in Group 1 races, and he's a right type of horse. And the Japanese have set him for this for the last 12 months. And usually when they set a horse, they can pull it off quite often. And he's owned by Carrot Farm, who are a great bunch of owners. They travel their horses quite often and have done so to Australia with success in the past. So I'm excited about his chances. He's another one who's drawn well. He maps perfectly. He'll probably settle around midfield. There's always pressure once again in a Doncaster, and he's a horse that I've come to like. So he's at good odds, and I reckon he probably should be a little bit shorter than he is in the market.
Excellent book of rides across the program. We're taking a look at all those rides now. Race number 3 looks like on paper one of your better rides as well in Amangiri. $2.70 favourite here on tab.co.nz. She's won 2 out of her 3 starts at Hawkesbury. She just seemed to relish the heavy track conditions, so you'd expect the soft track should be okay for her? Yeah,
definitely. She's got a beautiful big action, covers the ground really well, and she's got a high cruising speed, so she'll put us off on the speed. And she's obviously coming out of a lot weaker opposition than what she's going to meet today, but it's probably the style that she's done it in. She's won very well and very convincingly, so she's a filly that we've had a lot of time for quite a time now, and I think she can step up to these better races now and put her best foot forward. But she's obviously drawn very wide, but she's always a bit of a concern. But as I said, she's got a high cruising speed. We'll just take our time and let her cruise across.
Of course, you've got the assignment today. All going well, what sort of Oaks chance do you think she could be?
No, she'd have to almost win today, I believe, and pull up extremely well to head towards an Oaks. The Hawks team are very patient with their horses. They don't like to put them under too much pressure, especially this is only her first racing prep. So she's a horse that you could obviously tip out and give her a short turnaround and bring her back for the Queensland Oaks. That's obviously an option for her as well. So I think she'd have to be pretty impressive and win well and pull up very good for her to head in that direction.
Busy day today, 8 horses that you're going to be leagued aboard. In the very last race, you've got Mizzy. Is that one of your better chances as well, or were you looking at, say, a Madison County or Amangiri?
Oh, I think like a Madison County or even Pirata. I think they're my best 2 rides. Amangiri's just because she's got that unknown form, it's a bit weaker. She's got to really step up. Mizzy has to come back from the mile off the quick back up back to a 1200 after a tough run on a heavy track. So I just feel horses like Madison County and Pirata, they're primed for today. They've been set for these races, and I think they'll be extremely hard to beat.